There's only one question I really want to know from Connor Rozee as he joins us on the program.
I know what the question is too.
Who's the best table tennis player at the footy club? Connor, thanks for joining us, mate. Who? Because we got a table tennis player, and I'm just turning Andrew Gaze inside out.
That is not true.
Inside out.
Andy, we've played 5 times. I've won the last 4, and we're not finished the last one.
Who's the best player at the club, Connor?
It's actually a bit of a surprising one. Kenny's actually
what?
Just
probably the number one at the club at the moment, and he'll tell you that as well.
Is he going? Has he got a power game, or is it a bit of sort of subtle spin? Does he move you around? What's the strength of the man?
He's one of those blokes that put a heap of top spin on it, so it's like impossible to get it back.
Nightmare.
The only way you deal with that, you got to come when they're using that spin. You just got to have the power game, to power through the spin. That's what I've heard anyway.
Says you.
Hey, Connor. Yeah, I'm more of a plotter. Just let the other bloke make a mistake. I'm the Leighton Hewitt of the tennis, of the table tennis. Hey, Connor. Now,
congratulations, mate. Well done. It's awesome. Well done.
It's just an unbelievable thing to get the 8-year deal. Very tasty. But then to throw in the captaincy to boot. Clearly, you've demonstrated some leadership skills, so it's a great endorsement of you. What type of captain are you going to be?
Yeah, it's a good question, actually. I've done a little bit of thinking about, what I want to bring to the group, and I guess first and foremost is probably just playing well. Is the main thing, and I spoke to Kenny about that a fair bit as well. It's hard to be a good captain if you're in and out of the side or not in good form. So, I guess that's probably the main thing that I want to focus on to begin with. And then after that, I guess I've got good relationships with everyone at the club. So, more of an arm around you sort of person rather than give you a spray. And, I'm sure it'll evolve into whatever it evolves into.
You're such a young man, Connor. Have you done much of it throughout your footy career at junior levels?
Yeah, bits and pieces, I guess, as a junior coming through in parts of leadership groups. But, it's quite different, I guess, being in an AFL club. It's a completely different role being a leader at an AFL club with guys that are older than you and younger than you and between. So, there's a lot of unknowns, I guess, that come with the job, but I'm excited to get underway.
Does it, to your knowledge and the way it's been, your observations and the way it's been explained to you, does it add significant time to you? Like, do you have to spend a lot of extra time around the club because of the responsibility of being the skipper?
The club is actually really good at getting time, especially Kenny and Davies. They tend to let us out of the club when we need to get out of the club. And, there's obviously separate things here and there with our leadership group and coaches and staff, but the club does a really good job of often we do overloading everyone, and especially our leaders as well, with too much.
Hey, Zachy boy.
Zach.
Sorry,
that's the other one, mate.
I was about to ask about Zach.
Can you ask Connor?
Can you just take a couple of steps? What I was about to say is Zach Butters will be the vice captain. Do you sit down together and figure out the roles, or is that relationship as far as captain, vice captain, is that just something that evolves throughout the process?
Yeah, probably. Well, the second one, to be honest. I think we've got a great relationship already on and off the field. So I don't think we're going to have an issue in terms of working together or solving issues or that sort of thing. And we feel like playing together as well. So I think it'll be something that evolves, and I'm sure we'll each have different sort of roles that we feel and different strengths. But we're slightly different characters, I guess you could say, and have slightly strengths, so I'm sure we'll complement each other along the way.
Yeah, we're just getting a little bit of dropping in and out.
It was a little stronger. It was a little stronger.
It comes in and out.
There's a crazy storm here in Adelaide at the moment, so you might be copping the brunt of it.
Well, that makes total sense. So you're a wise man beyond your years to know that the electrical sort of interference might be affecting the telecommunications.
Depending how the wind's blowing.
I can see why they've appointed you captain. There's no question about it. Hey, how much? Look, I suspect none, but how much thinking did you have to do regarding the 8 years?
Not much at all, to be honest. I think when we first sat down and started to talk about contracts, I guess I just wanted to commit to the club for as long as I could possibly commit. I'm not and have not planned on going anywhere since I got to the club. I've got my family and friends in South Australia, obviously, and it made it a pretty easy decision. We're in a great spot as a football club, but also everything outside the football club also for me is in a great place at the moment. So, it was, for me, it was just I want to be at the club for as long as possible, and they were on board with that, so it all worked out.
And what about you guys have been so close over the last few years. You've been playing some really good football, but just at the real pointy end, they're just coming up short. Do you do anything different this time around? I suppose all teams will do little things differently, but do you need to make a profound change to what you guys are doing to bridge that gap?
I don't think so necessarily. We beat a lot of the good sides during the course of the season, and when it got to that point again, we probably just didn't turn up on a couple of occasions, and I think a lot of that comes down to the maturity of the group, and we've still got a lot of young players that had never played finals before. Our midfield is really young. You got Jason Horne-Francis in his second year last year, and Zach and I in our fifth year last year. So I feel like we've still got a long way to go in terms of growth and maturity, and you can only get that by putting yourselves in those situations again and again.
Hey, just on the whole Port Adelaide situation, Andy and I had a long conversation last week in regards to what's going on with your team in the SANFL and how there's that chance that they're not going to be playing in that competition anymore. It's hard for us to comprehend for such a historic and successful club not to be involved in it. Are you guys aware of it? Is it spoken about within the club with the players on what that might mean?
We haven't touched on it a hell of a lot since we've been back at the club. I think that's because nothing's been 100% confirmed yet. So, I guess there's rumours. So I probably know about as much as you guys, but I guess there's positives and negatives to the situation. We obviously have a great history in the SANFL and are really proud of everything that the Magpies have done. But in saying that, it's also a great opportunity for our young players to get some extra development and play against, other guys that are on AFL lists every week. So it's probably where the competition is going in the long term, and it'll probably be an adjustment to begin with, but I think it'll be good for our list in the long term.
Right.
So you commit to the club for 8 years, Connor, because you love the joint and you've never even thought about going anywhere else. What is it about your footy club that you love so much? What's the best thing about being a Port Adelaide player?
Great question. It's a lot of things, really. I love our group is probably the main thing that makes me happy coming into the club every day, and all my best mates are there. Great culture around the side. We're obviously a pretty young side, and I think that is good for not only our young players, but our senior players have been great for our young group coming through, and obviously our coaches as well. Kenny's been massive since I've got to the club for me personally, and for Zach and a lot of the other younger guys as well. He's almost a father figure of some sorts, and I mean, there's no reason that I'd want to leave. We're obviously in a position where we're attacking deep into finals consistently, and I want to win more than anything else, and I feel like I've got the best opportunity to do that here.
Perfect. What's the situation with the number? Do you have to take the number 1? Are you superstitious and you want to stay with the 20? Is that an issue at all?
Yeah, Kenny actually asked me during the week if I had any issue with it, but no, I actually love the tradition of the club, and I think it's really cool that I have to change numbers and wear the same number as a lot of the great captains in the past. So, there's definitely no issues on my end, and I'm really excited to wear it.
Nice. We're talking to Connor Rozee, new captain, 8-year contract at Port Adelaide, which hopefully you bounced off Kane Corns before you signed, because Cornsy's got a few issues, but we don't need to pry.
I reckon he might make an exception.
We don't need to pry into those sorts of personal details right now, Connor. You've mentioned Kenny a few times. You clearly got great regard for him. Do you like having him? He's so animated on the bench. He rides the ebbs and flows of the games with you guys. Do you like having access to him directly in the course of games with him down on the bench?
Yeah, I do actually. It's been a bit of a change. Obviously, Kenny's always been up in the box in the past, and made that change early in the year. But it's nice to have him there. When you come off, and he gets a bit of bit more of a sense of how the game's going, the sort of pressure that we're under when we're out in the field. And, it can be difficult when you're up in the box. It can feel a little bit disconnected and I guess you're almost in the crowd, really, and it's a bit easier to make assumptions and things about what people should do. But when he's down on the bench, he can definitely understand us a bit more, and we also get the opportunity to talk to him straight away when we come off. So, I've enjoyed it. I'm not sure. I'm guessing he'll probably do the same thing again next year, and I think he'll probably keep doing it as long as we keep winning.
When I watch the games and I see him down there, he's one of those ones that, to me, he's a little hard to read because sometimes I'll look at him and he's got a look that probably says more than the words sometimes. What's he in the heat of the moment? Well, how would you characterise him? Is he pretty stern in those circumstances?
If you've made a mistake, he can be. He's actually quite calm in the big moments, and he's adapted quite well to our younger group with obviously people and players that haven't been in situations before. He's adapting his coaching style quite well to those new guys and younger guys. But he can be stern when he needs to be. That's for sure.
Well, mate, we love the way you play your footy. Everybody loves watching you go about your business. To get 8 years locked away is just a blessing for your footy club, and the captaincy says volumes about the way you're regarded within inside the joint, mate. Congratulations on all of that. Thanks for joining us. Have a great Christmas and good luck in 2024.
No worries, guys. Appreciate your time. Cheers.
Good on you.
Good on you, Connor.
Connor Rozee, the new Port Adelaide skipper.